All right, here we are again, Dawkins Snacker. We're keeping this going. We're going out 2018 on a bang.
Yes, this is a big bang. We will not do anything different just because at the end of the year.
That's right.
No
we're not
more
going to start new patterns right now. We're going to keep on where we're going.
Yeah.
Dawkins Snacker, you're leading health and food podcast.
Yes, a very practical approach to eating and being healthy and having fun.
No celebrity, fads or anything. We've got a real life doctor here. Dr. Mike is the doc of Dawkins Snacker.
Yes, the real deal. I've dealt with a lot of people that have done good for a while, then go back. The reality of, as we all know, for those of us out here that have ever changed your weight once in your lifetime or more.
Well, that's about it once for me.
It's hard. Getting to the right eating habits that get you to the place you want to be is hard. And we're not going to overlook that and try to pretend that there's some magic cure-all, fix-all diet plan.
I so wish. Where's that fix-all? Before we get in depth on anything, what do you think of the percentages of patients you've treated? What kind of success have they had? Has it been like a short-term success compared to a long-term?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or no-term success?
Yeah. Like everyone asks that. I know we never keep numbers on it, but if you look at the success, I guess you'd have to say, what is success for you? If success is losing 10 pounds, so there are some people that will have a very short-term goal. Oh, my daughter's getting married. My son's getting married. My son's graduating. Or I'm going to my high school reunion.
Oh, definitely. Got to.
Yeah, and I've had, actually a little side joke since we are comedians. Well, we
allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I mean that's relative.
No one outside of this room may know.
I could remember someone saying that something like this. It was like I would always ask people, say, what's the benefit for you to lose weight? And one woman said, all I want to do is be less heavier than frickin' Julie from my high school class. And our 33. And that's funny. That's funny.
Because Julie was, totally. I know. I think I know those Julie.
Everybody had that Julie or that dude Gary that you want to, I want to rub it in his face. I hope he's like 50 pounds heavier than me when I go to the reunion. Because back in high school, he was the man. He was a quarterback. And he did it, did this, and this, and I didn't do that. Or
I don't want to be worse off than Gary. Gary was the slob then, and now I'm doing worse off now.
Yeah, I don't want Gary to like give me another noogie.
Gary's going to fat shame me.
Yeah.
So most people are doing short-term goals.
Yeah, so some people have short-term goals. I don't know. Overall, I mean, this is a tough question. It would depend on who you'd ask. But I would say overall, how many people are out there that are actually figured out a good eating plan that works for them? They've stuck with it, and they are at their desired weight. Ooh.
Low? Higher or lower than 20%?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I hate to sound negative, but I say yeah. I say around that.
Wow.
yeah, maybe 20, maybe less. But that would be like you'd have to do a huge survey to get an accurate number on that.
Do you remember the success stories or the people that just you couldn't get through to?
I remember a lot of people just going, getting a good result, and then coming back after time. Something would happen that would throw them off.
Yeah, like the event is over. You work all this way to the goal, and then when you reach the goal, you think that that's the finish line.
Right.
But when really that's the starting line almost. That's where you want to stay at.
And there's even even that what spun off of that was after there's some very bright people out there. One neuroscientist in particular who, there's a lot of them that promote this idea of like, dieting just doesn't work. The idea of dieting, the idea of restricting your calorie intake or changing what you like to eat doesn't really work. So use that as your starting point. It's like, all right, don't try to like reduce calories per se and then try to find an eating pattern that isn't restrictive. So restrictive is sometimes a approach people take initially to get some weight off, and then usually those people spring back.
Impossible to sustain.
Almost everybody has that experience.
Yeah, because you're cutting back, but that's not the new norm. That's still, that's less than the norm, the old norm. And then so when you're done with that, you go back to the norm.
Yes.
Oh, I know that.
Exactly. And then there's even I've watched a couple, there's some like food psychologists that will say, just let it go. Just give up the idea of restricting yourself and just kind of let it go. And then they think that your body has they call it like a set point, where your brain has a set point that it says, all right, at this is the weight we want to be at. And there's a biological force that will keep you at that weight.
Well, that biological force is pushing my weight up. I've gained more. I'm 248 now. Despite the exercise I'm doing. I had a doctor once tell me, like, well, you can eat whatever you want. You're just going to have to exercise more. And I thought a half hour a day, 5 days a week would be more than enough. But apparently not yet.
Yeah, then you also, on the other side of that, you look at it like, well, okay, you're at a weight you don't want to be at. So you're eating the way you want it. Eating the way you think your body's telling you to eat. So you can go in and change it a little bit. You still obviously you want to make some changes, but it would have to be like, we have to sit down and kind of work out some. You have to go through a lot of variables, like go through your timing, your access, when do you get to eat, your schedule of eating, you can look at calorie intake and make it not as restrictive, if that makes any sense. But yeah, there's not, that doesn't mean you can't alter it when you say like, just do what you want to do. It's more of like, don't go excessively into some restrictive plan that is going to eventually run out. And that's the trick. It's something like with sustainable. The word sustainable is the key. It's a great word, sustainable. Sustainable to the point where you're not struggling with the difficulty of eating in a new way.
Yeah.
And we all know this. I don't need to explain all that stuff. So that's another one of those concepts. So that could be the struggle, is trying to find that right amount of food intake that's not restrictive. It doesn't challenge your taste buds, but still keeps you where you want to be, along with an exercise program.
Well, speaking of sustainability, we talked last episode about your current diet, because you had come off the cruise and you were trying to cut back, and you went to the chicken and rice.
Yeah. So what I did, I had a pair of jeans. I mean, this is straightforward. Everybody knows this, a pair of jeans that all of a sudden they just don't fit anymore.
What are those, 32 waist jeans? What do you got?
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah?
It's all relative. It's all relative. So alcohol intake. So actually the first step was, all right, I'm not going to just stop drinking beer. So it went from, the good stuff, IPAs, pale ales. Now I actually Googled, like everybody else, I Googled, the best beers. And like, there are some good beers out there with very little carbs, but they still taste like a little bit like beer.
Yeah, what are we talking, like Miller Lights?
Yeah, Corona Light is decent.
Corona Light's
decent. 5 grams of carbs in each one. Michelob Ultra is like 2.6, but I don't know if you ever had a Michelob Ultra lately.
Is it just water?
Yeah, I mean, it could, you have to have you got to be a little creative when you're drinking it. And then, of course, the Bud Lights, Coors Lights. So, and then try to like put a limit on that. And also what I'm doing now, I don't know, like, once again, sustainability. I know I'm not going to be able to sustain this for a long time. I use the MyFitnessPal.
I love it. Yeah.
So MyFitnessPal, I'm set up to be around like 1,800 calories a day, about 200 grams of protein, which is hard. That's hard to eat.
Wow.
That.
Yeah.
So I got some shakes. I got some protein powder, some decent protein powder that's not loaded with a bunch of junk in it. And do that in the morning, and then try to do 3 hard-boiled eggs in the morning with some oatmeal, and then protein shakes, and then chicken, tilapia, which I know you love.
Oof.
And then oysters. I have some oysters whenever I get a chance to go to my favorite Mexican restaurant with the oysters, and then the rest is maybe a sirloin steak once in a while.
and you've been able.
But try to get like the key would be to get like 200 grams of protein.
What for in layman's terms?
And keep the carbs down to. Well, it's all. See, if you're on MyFitnessPal, it's a lot easier to look at that way. Yeah, you just push it in. It tells you what you're eating.
What's it like? For instance, what's a chicken breast in protein?
A chicken breast, if it's like, so I go to Walmart and get a big old bag, a 10-pound bag of frozen chicken breast. 2 breasts would be about 50 grams.
50. So you got to put down you're putting down 8 breasts worth.
If you just did chicken all day, it probably would be 3 pounds of chicken a day.
3 pounds just to get the protein you need.
But I don't do that. I don't do that.
You're doing the protein shakes and etc.
So if you get 2 protein shakes in, that's 50 grams. Then you do 2-3 eggs. That's about 20 some grams, maybe 20. And do 2 chicken breasts, 2 little tilapias.
Yeah,
that's getting close.
Are you more concerned about hitting your protein numbers or hitting the total calorie numbers?
Yeah, total calories, and then trying to keep the carbs. I don't have like a set. Like I'm not going like Atkins where it's like 0, where the fat's really high. Just trying to right now do. Try to keep the because I still have to drink beer at night, so that's where usually the carbs come in.
Now, why not why not just like straight liquor? Like, isn't that even going to be less?
Yeah,
less
I have like my quirky thing is I just can't drink liquor, like tequila. I only really drink tequila. I can't drink tequila by itself. I have to have a beer with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't do that because if I add soda, then that's basically wrecking.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So a shot in a beer or
shot in a beer. Yeah. Yeah, and then the beer. Sometimes the beer is it's just one of those habits you developed over the years, and it's usually going to be now I try to keep it like some kind of light beer, and eventually I would like to get rid of that.
Yeah, well, most of this year I went without liquor, and I thought that would make a huge difference. Unfortunately,
just liquor though.
Well, just booze in general.
Yeah.
Because I thought it had to deal with my cholesterol medicine. I thought that it felt weird when I was drinking. I thought it was a side effect maybe of the medicine. It didn't mix well.
Yeah.
So basically for the first 10 months of 2018, I wasn't drinking, period. And then I started.
Okay, so what happened then? Did that make a difference?
It really didn't. Okay. I thought it would be night and day just because I was assuming that when you're a comic, you every time you're going out, you're getting a drink somewhere, and maybe sometimes 2. And so I thought over the course of the week, I was probably drinking 5 to 7 beverages a week. And so I thought, well, if I cut that out, all of a sudden we're talking 700 calories.
That's soda and liquor. Come on.
I would do a diet. I would do like a whiskey and diet. Okay. Now I got back into some drinking because of football season. So now it's a whiskey and soda.
Okay.
So it's it's even better than a diet.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But it's still not.
And it tastes good to you, right?
Yeah, I've developed it. I developed a taste for whiskey.
Like a Coke and Jack and Coke or anything.
No. In fact, I like it better than diet. I was drinking, like Jack and Diets, and like. Now that I'm just drinking Jack and sodas, it's like, oh, that diet. What was I?
So one thing, and this is once again, this is kind of like this. Everyone knows. So if you did, and of course, January 1st is lurking. Everybody thinks about January 1st. But if you did, say you took, you're familiar with MyFitnessPal,
of course.
Yeah. Say starting tomorrow, just plug a few things in. And or as you set it up and it tells you like, oh, you should do this. Try doing that without pressure of like, oh, I didn't make the cut today.
Yeah, just
to see where you're at, because sometimes you just might need to kind of just check in with yourself. It's a good way to kind of check in. I always talk to people about counting calories, and initially I was like overzealous about it, like, oh God, just count your calories and it's easy. Yeah, it is, but it's just, once again, that's not a sustainable practice for a lot of people, just because your day-to-day routine, just some people that are into stuff like that, they probably don't need to count calories anyway.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us normal humans, counting them it's not sustainable. People just won't do it. A lot of people just say, well, I'm just not going to do that. I know it would be good, but I'm not. I just can't do it. Maybe just a day. Maybe just do 1 or 2 days just to see where you're at.
This is what kind of gets me down when I'm counting calories using the app. 1 of 2 things will happen. I'll have, too much too early. And so by lunch, I'll be like, I only have, 400 calories for the rest of the day. And then I get down on myself for that. And so then that becomes a weakness. Or once I cross my limit, then I stop putting it in. I'm like, all right, give up for today.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, that's where you have to you got to forgive yourself on those days and come back the next day and start all over again.
That's I'm toughest at forgiving myself, because when you look at the app, it's almost like a video game, because it's almost like a score. You're counting. It's like don't go over the high score.
Your battery's over. Your battery's running out.
And so if you don't win the game, then I feel like I've lost the game. And so there's no. I got to realize more that it's not just a winning and losing, maybe, or maybe it's over a whole week. Maybe,
yes,
and maybe
that's.
Not,
I was just gonna say that, because I think they have stats where you could look at it. I used to go from Sunday to Sunday and then look at it Monday morning and say, okay, what was the average for the week? So say if you hit 2,500 calories today, you say your goal is 2,000 a day.
Yeah.
You hit 24 today. Some days you can do less. Maybe that's another thing too, is give yourself, play it out over a week, and you'll see some days you can get away with less calories. You're just not in the mood.
Yeah.
Or some days you're just hungrier.
Yeah. And that's the problem with those counting apps is they, you can just look at the bar graph. I'm looking at those bar graph and I'm like, oh, boom, that bar is so high.
Yeah. That's real. That's one of those. It's the sustainability thing.
And being honest. You have to also be honest with yourself when you have to put in the phone what you actually ate. You can't skimp and say, oh, this was, I had a large fry, but I'm just going to put, French fry, whatever. You have to be honest and put the real calories in too, because
that could be a mindset thing. So look at it from your mindset. If your mindset is, you got to be forgiving, and give yourself. It's okay. It's okay if you go over your calories today. You can't, and you got to trust that in time, maybe like any other habit, you learn how to play bass.
Yeah. It took years.
Let's go for a metaphor, playing bass versus, eating a certain way. I don't know if that's a good metaphor.
Well, kind of like with I think with instruments or really anything, probably if you're learning a language or anything that you're practicing, I feel like there's just one day where it clicks.
Yeah.
Where you're struggling, you're working, you're struggling, you're practicing, but then one day it clicks, and all the things that you had to think about before you're not thinking about.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it maybe one day be me with eating, where I'm not.
So some people think there's a lot of studies going on now, and they believe that you're the bacteria, and there's a whole bacteria in your gut concept.
Yeah.
That over time you keep pushing, and you go up and down, and then eventually, when the bacteria, when the good bacteria are more predominant over the shittier ones that want sugar and all the junk food, it just doesn't happen overnight. But in time, when that changeover happens, then your brain actually is less affected by the cravings. I don't know. It's just something to think about.
I hope. Believe me, that's all I think about. And
because some folks quit too early, like anything else in life, some folks quit too early.
I'm good at that too. Even with exercise, it's like, I can't do 20 push-ups. Why am I doing one push-up then? That's
well, then you have. So now I would do like a psychology trick is look at the bass. You learn how to play bass. How many did you ever want to quit learning bass?
I don't.
Was there a time where you're like, shit, this ain't working?
I don't think it was. I don't think I ever had the stakes where it was just like, you're not doing well, just give it up. But I'm sure that there have been moments in time over the years where it's just like, well,
or anything else. Think of something else. Think of a, I don't know, video game or anything where you were like, yeah, this is like, all right.
Totally. Video game. I used to get the Madden football games every other year, but then around 2013, I stopped and I didn't get one again until 2018. So a 5-year gaps in Madden.
Oh, wow.
So the technology, so when I got back on, I was like losing every game, and it was like, what? I don't even want to play this. And then I was no, don't give up on your Madden dreams. You can play this video game.
Yeah.
And now I'm
guru. You're a guru.
I beat the computer every
Madden.
time.
You're better than Madden.
I'm better than Madden. I can't beat anyone online. Everyone online is some master, but I can at least beat the computer.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
That's all that matters to me.
That's another one of those like mind hack things. You just got to stick with it.
Got to. Well, I
Be good to yourself.
skipped working out today, but I got to get back in it. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then, but see, then like it won't be able to work out on Christmas or Christmas Eve because it's closed. So maybe I'll have to do something on my own at home. It's
Yeah. There's plenty of things you can do at home.
Right.
You have like 50. You have like 25 square feet.
Yeah.
Push-ups,
Lunges, Oof.
squats. I know, brutal. It's like eating broccoli.
Planks. Yuck.
The plank.
What else? Jump rope. Ugh.
Yeah, jump rope. Burpees. Yeah, I don't even
No
know.
way.
Yeah.
What? Whoever invented that was evil.
The dreaded burpees. All right, what about we got some interesting article we came across. It kind of goes what we say. Sometimes a diet can kill you, actually kill you. Diets that can kill you. I don't know anyone that's ever died, barring maybe a starvation diet, but.
Or that sunlight. Have you ever heard about those people that just like only sunlight and water?
Sunlight and water.
Or something
No.
Like they think you can just live on vitamin D. Like it didn't turn out too well for that
person.
person.
It just didn't work out.
This comes from Popular Science, which sounds to me it has the word science in it. So they wouldn't publish something unless it was true, right?
Like the actual magazine. Popular Science.
If there even is a magazine anymore. 5 diets that could be deadly, and these are all things that we've heard that you call them fads.
Yeah, they're kind of some would consider mainstream dieting.
But according to Popular Science, who there must be science. They're popular science. Although, how many scientists are really popular? I think of them as being the nerdy types. So maybe the popular scientists.
Yeah, there's a couple that like know how to talk normally about their science, and they share it with us. Those are people who are cool. Yeah.
These aren't MIT guys.
Yeah.
These are like the popular scientists. They went to like Cal.
And it would depend on who wrote the article. Also, like is the person writing the article, are they what's the motive behind the article? Are they angry people looking for something to fill in? Are they skeptics, or did they have bad experiences themselves?
So these, and I'll tell you, the authors are. It looks like 2 women, Sarah and Claire. I can't even pronounce the last name. So these are 2. It doesn't say what their credentials are, does it? In this article? Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't.
You never know. You can't assume anything.
So they're.
Let's assume their intentions are great. Do they actually care about the public? They want to provide the public with great science to help us make better choices. Yeah, well, let's assume that.
Well, and we'll assume they're popular scientists. Yeah. Anyway, this says that 45 million are going to try a new diet in the new year.
So 45 million people out there are gearing up to start. What would that be? Not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday.
Yeah, soon. Maybe I'll get a head start now. All right. So the first diet on the list is the raw diet.
The raw diet. Do you know anyone that's ever done that? Have you ever done it?
I don't know anyone personally. I feel like I've read or heard about people doing it. I mean, it's basically, it's just what it says it is. You're eating raw foods. So I don't think this deals with uncooked meats, though, or I
don't know. I think they talked about that a little bit, but raw meaning vegetables, obviously
vegetables, fruits. But I guess the problem with the raw diet, if you want to get 2,000 calories a day, which is I guess the typical daily thing, they're saying you got to eat 60 cups of kale, 38 cups of carrots, or 90 whole tomatoes.
Wow. 90 whole tomatoes.
To get that 2,000 calorie diet. So
you're kind of like starving. You're somewhat calorie restricting, even though you're probably going to get all the nutrients you need. It's nutritious, meaning like all the vitamins and all the great stuff you extract from vegetables will be there. However, just in general, overall amount of calories is going to be a little deficient.
Yeah, and
unless you eat a ton of raw meat. Are they talk about that in there? Because I'm not familiar with this one at all that much. I don't know if people actually eat raw meat. Sushi's one thing.
The problems, you can't eat unprocessed dairy. You can't eat unpasteurized dairy, right? That'll cause.
You can. Probably got some consequences.
And what about? And you can't eat. Bodybuilders eat raw eggs, but that sounds like salmonella, right?
Yeah,
you can't eat. I can't eat cookie dough.
Yeah, you can get away. It's risky. There's a risk involved.
And so their stat says that 25% of people who ate raw for 3 years were too thin. I can't imagine doing something for 3 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's. Whew.
And
we have to find someone. If anyone out there knows anyone that's done raw, just straight raw for 3 years or even less.
Yeah.
Let us know. Love to sit and pick your brain about it.
Doc and Snacker on Twitter or docandsnacker@gmail.com if you want to hit us up.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come in here and we'll pick your brain about eating raw.
I do eat more. I don't eat raw, but I do like a lot of carrots. I'll eat a lot of carrots here at work. That seems to be my go-to kind of healthy snack.
Right.
Otherwise, when I'm not eating donuts, which is a lot of times too, Yeah. But I can do carrots raw. I can do apples raw. I don't know how much. Can you do? I don't know if I would.
No. See, I've never even thought about like someone who actually makes a conscious choice to eat all their food raw. That's never done that.
Never done that. That'd just be salads. I feel. I don't know. Let's move on to the keto diet makes the diets that you can kill list.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize that this was developed back in the 20s. Keto.
Yeah, there was a name for it. Banding. There was a guy, Banting, Banting. Banting was his name. I think he did like a very low carb and he added fat. But anyway, I have to read up on that. But it was called a guy named Banting. And I think Atkins got his stuff from Banting. So Atkins didn't create.
Oh, Atkins is the copy. Now
Atkins kind of pushed it out to the forefront. He was a big time cardiologist in New York City, and then he did it himself. And his crew got. It kind of became. Well, then it took off. But yeah, it's been around for a while. He didn't discover this concept. He took it from somewhere. I didn't take it, but he expanded on someone else's ideas. Yeah, from the 20s.
And if you're not sure, because I didn't know this about keto, it's apparently you're supposed to do 90% fat, 7% protein, 3% carbs.
Yeah, and I think Atkins spun it off to be. I mean, people have different numbers, but yeah, it's majority fat, so 70%, 75% fat. When I did 50 grams, like I did like 10 to 15% carbs, 75% fat, and then the rest protein. But in some kind of ratio like that.
And how long did you?
Oh yeah, I mean, people usually. It depends. There's people that do that for years and years and years and years. And I think on this site, what do the consequences they bring up are
the biggest problem is people who do the diet long term, a 50% increase in triglycerides. Mm-hmm. So that you're clogging your arteries up, and I have high triglycerides. I need to take a Lipitor for that.
Okay.
And that can last a year after the diet stops.
Right.
Which I don't know.
That's a controversial area. A lot of people argue against that, and they say no. If you cut your carbs down, the fats don't always do that. So that's a tough one to say. Yeah.
So that's a sometimes maybe.
Yeah, it's a sometimes maybe one.
They also say 3/4 of keto people develop stuff like reflux or constipation.
Yeah, so that's constipation, absolutely. So a big thing with constipation and the keto is you could supplement with fiber. You can supplement with a flaxseed. The people that mastered the keto that are doing it for a long time, they'll take all these arguments and they'll say, well, here's what you do for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still, but not everybody. Not everybody breaks through and could do it for a long period of time. So
also, you become acidic. So that could create kidney stones.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a real deal. Have you ever had a kidney stone?
Oof, I had one this summer.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So that if you got a kidney stone, and for those of you out there that have kidney stones, if you got a kidney stone and you know it's coming from the way you're eating, you will most likely change it the way you eat. I mean, it's that painful of an experience.
Oof, 2 trips to the ER.
yeah.
I don't know what caused. Unfortunately, because I didn't catch the stone. Mm-hmm. I don't know what its composition was, so I can't tell.
Okay.
Is it because I'm
cholesterol? Yeah, is it cholesterol or not? Yeah.
Or water. I'm hoping that it was just for me. I'm hoping that it was dehydration. Maybe a little too much, like iced tea. I hear the minerals in iced tea and coffee and stuff.
Usually, if it's less frequent, if it's just a one-time deal, most likely from that. Yeah,
I hope.
But if you had a kidney stone on a regular basis because of your eating, and you'll change it.
I keep
that's a game changer.
I keep my painkillers on me now in case it happens again because I was here at work when it struck and it was like, what I'm stuck. What do? I had to drive here. I had to drive home all the way from here
Yeah.
with, like,
So that could be like, say you're doing the keto for 4 or 5 months, and you got these great results, and then bam,
Ooh.
kidney stone. But there's probably depending on how you look at this, you may say, all right, that's it. I can't do this anymore. Or you may talk with an expert on this stuff, and they could say, well, it happened to me too, and here's what I did. I just added something, took something away, drank more water. There's always a way, because there's a lot of people that do these for a long period of time.
yeah, just not me.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to our next so-called deadly diet from Popular Science, Whole30.
Yeah, Whole30. That one I don't think I've. How do you explain? What is the Whole30? How about this? What is the Whole30 diet?
This was new to me too. So Whole30, 30 meaning 30 days. So for a whole month, you give up processed sugar, alcohol, grains, and dairy.
Okay.
So it sounds like almost everything that might be an allergen or something.
Yeah, that's a reasonable. I'm sure this isn't like some fly by night thing either. It's been around for a little while.
Yeah, that just seems, it's okay,
30 days.
30 days. Now, sugar, added sugar, I mean, that's tough, but it's...
That's not a bad thing to get rid of, obviously.
Yeah. Dairy, that's a little bit trickier. You have cheeses and stuff.
Yeah,
milk is maybe, but...
That could be a challenge. It could be challenging, but some people do well, yeah.
And then grains. Now, are we just talking like bread? What is rice a grain?
There's a whole, this is a whole other category. If you read up, there's the grain brain. There's a grain. There's a whole school of people out there that just say give up grains. Grains are bad, and grains cause changes in your brain that you don't want. I think the guy's name is PER. Yeah, he's a dedicated. I believe he's a doc and good guy. Very did a lot of work on this, and I think he wrote the grain brain. That's a whole other category. Yeah, so grains have a history of being bad for you.
What is the what is it? Is that the gluten?
It could be anything. All kind of breads, different things used inside of floury products. There's a whole bunch of them. I don't know off the top of my head all of them, but you could easily type in any type of grains. I just type in I don't want to eat grains anymore. Bang, and you'll find it.
What these people are saying, or I should say what Whole30 advocates say, is that when you cut all that out for a month, you kind of hit the reset button on your your gut, your bacteria gut, as you were talking about, and you can also pinpoint food sensitivities. Although there hasn't been studies on that, but the people who have found success with this, that's what they.
This could be like you look at this approach. See, for some people. Once again, it's about you and how you go about things. Some people want to say, all right, I want to eat whatever I want to eat. Okay, so they're going to eat whatever they want to eat. But in this case, they say, eat everything you want to eat except for these things.
Yeah.
And that might work for someone. That might be an easier approach than saying, hey, want to keep your calories at this number. So it sounds like they're not having you count calories. You just get rid of these foods and eat, and the rest of your eating is however you want it to be.
Yeah, so I don't even know what is left behind. It sounds like proteins, I guess vegetables.
Yeah, certain carbohydrates. You can do either not all carbohydrates are grains, so you have plenty of other things to eat.
Fruits, is that considered too much sugar?
Fruit's fine. Okay. No. They probably mean processed sugar.
So the problem with this, of course, is that extreme constipation.
Yeah, you're going to constipate.
Great.
And for any of you out there who's ever done any type of, you change your eating and you get constipated, once again, that's probably going to be a game changer because it's not a fun experience.
The other thing is what about calcium? We do need some calcium.
Yeah, and you could supplement calcium. Seafood, certain shellfish. You could get calcium in supplements that are decent that aren't
not milk.
Yeah, you don't got to swallow like a whole horse pill, but there's supplements you could do. Yeah.
I don't even does that sound like anything you know?
Yeah,
Has anyone done that?
not. Yeah, I don't know. I've never maybe it just hasn't been it's not as popular as keto somehow they whoever pushes this stuff. Obviously keto is big. Obviously raw is the little. I've heard of raw before. Raw, but the 30 thing I never.
What happens when you start reintroducing foods after that? Does your body
Good
reject
question.
that?
Yeah, it's good question. You'd have to, once again, you probably have to get someone that's done it and then reintroduce them, because I've never done that. So from my experience, and I've never really worked with someone that's done something like that.
I wouldn't mind trying a whole 30 for maybe one of those things, like 30 no sugar. I mean, that's tough.
Maybe you could go like if once again that could work better for you. Like maybe you're an eliminator kind of person. Oh, I want to do whatever I can. So for my first month, so for the month of January, I'm going to get rid of processed sugar. So you read up on all your sources of processed sugar. So for January, I'm just going to get rid of processed sugar. I'm not going to worry about my weight number per se. I'm not going to count the numbers. I'm not going to weigh myself. I'm just going to do processed sugar the best I can. Maybe you're not going to get rid of all of it. I'm going to decrease it so you can keep track of your processed sugar for January. Then February, I'm going to work on grains. And then March, I'm going to work on dairy products. You never know.
Whew. All right.
It's a lot of work, but for some people, that might be the eliminating one thing at a time could be a more sustainable approach. But you just make sure you take some fiber and flaxseed. But there actually is ways around the constipation. But
a whole bag of carrots is what works for me.
But if it hits you and you ever had like bad it's a game changer.
Oh, let's move on to our fourth diet that could kill. This might surprise people. Paleo.
Yeah, the paleo.
Paleo sounds. How could that be deadly if that's how we lived for thousands of years?
That's like paleo is like more or less what modified. Yeah, it's like a modified keto, modified Atkins kind of thing. But what do they say about what is the danger?
What is the danger? Well, for what is paleo? Is basically we're just talking meat and vegetables,
meat,
fruit, vegetables,
like meat, fruit, and meat, like berries during the day. Once again, I don't have the exact. Someone that's a paleo guru will say no. Here's exactly. I don't know off the top of my head exactly what the regimen is.
No bread, right?
But it's definitely like berries, fruits, and meat. And sometimes people even do this warrior kind of diet where like. Say back in the day, you were out hunting all day. You picked up some berries when you're out in the woods or in the Sahara and out in the flats, and then you made your kill. You took your antelope home, and you guys ate the antelope. And there's not a lot of fat on an antelope. That's a very, very simplified version, but it's something to that.
Like no breads, no. That's very tricky.
Yeah, there wasn't bread. There was no bread back in the day.
If you have everything available, that's the problem for me, especially if I have healthy stuff available, I'm more likely to make those choices.
Right.
But when it's not available, that's when it's just like, well, what do I have?
Yeah.
This is the problem with paleo. Of course, just meat in itself is a lot of saturated fat, so not great for the arteries.
There were no chickens around yet.
No chickens around?
Back in the day.
Wow, but plenty of fish.
Fish and just meat.
Just meat. And you weren't
animals.
You weren't eating. You couldn't overeat because you would have to chase it down.
You think there's like absolutely no way you could overeat. And if you did for one day, like the next day could easily like you can go 2 days without eating. We think nobody knows. Nobody's back.
Haven't met the paleos yet.
Yeah, and there's a really good. With the paleo thing, there's a really good video on YouTube. If you really want to look at this, there's a woman. Once again, I don't know. There's a woman who actually studied her. She studies like anthropological. She's an anthropologist, and she studied foods that she believes people actually ate.
Yeah.
And the title's a little misleading. I think the title of the video is. Debunking the paleo diet, but she's not really debunking it. What she does, she goes through and she looks at all the way the plants, she understands what plants were around. So like she takes a look at like say broccoli, like currently the broccoli we have, it has evolved from this other plant. And this is what most people ate. That's all they had available.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting, and that will probably give you a clearer
ancient broccoli
idea. And it's really interesting. But it doesn't conclude with saying paleo is necessarily wrong or bad, because you're always, when you think, anytime people go into trying to say this is what we did back in the day. Sorry, nobody was around. I mean, we make great educated scientific conclusions on how we most likely behaved. But, I mean, you weren't there. No one was there.
I saw 2001 where the monkeys are fighting. I think I'm sure it was something like that.
That was a good flick.
But, the other thing with red meat is colon cancer. That's a higher risk with a lot of red meat.
And there's a whole, and you can go into this whole, this is what makes food people interesting, because they're always arguing, kind of like politics. Like there's no conclusion on this is the way we're supposed to live our lives. There's people that
just a bunch of blowhards.
Yeah, there's a China study. If you ever, there's a China study where somebody concluded that, red meat absolutely is bad and causes cancer, and just you shouldn't eat any meats at all. Just eat plant-based foods. So, so be it.
And then there was I think the other study by Chairman, General So, right?
And General So said, let the people eat as much as they want.
A little tangent.
Just add some sauce to it. Yeah.
General So's. There is a General So from China, but that was pretty much invented in New York.
Genius. Genius. It's a genius.
And now they call it orange chicken some places, and P.F. Chang's calls it.
Everybody loves General So's, even if it causes diarrhea or
frequent.
What's the other word?
Frequent hunger. I'm always hungry.
Perpetual hunger. Yeah.
All right, so that is paleo. So that's paleo. I don't know if I could do paleo anyway. That seems, I don't know. I don't want to say it seems kind of Neanderthal, but
yeah. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Let's move on to the last, maybe the most controversial one on the deadly diet list is vegan diet.
Yeah, this gets very controversial. I mean, you could have we can get 100 vegans on here and 100 non-vegans, and it will be like a battle royal. I mean, there's you get into veganhood, there's some emotional and there's some righteousness and there's some, doing good for, and you can't blame it. I mean, people eat vegan with great intentions to not want to eat meat. I mean, you could watch some of these horrifying documentaries about how we process animals, and that's, you know what? You're like, this is, I don't care. I don't ever want to eat these.
Yeah. My wife's vegan for the ethical reasons,
Yeah. So this gets a little tricky.
But here are some things that are vegan. You can do vegan, because these are all vegan. Oreos.
Yep.
Purple bag Doritos.
Yeah. And junk food is not off limits.
French fries are a lot of times vegan, especially now that McDonald's doesn't use the good oil. Right.
Yeah.
White bread, of course, Wonder Bread. That's vegan. I mean, Coke and Pepsi is vegan.
So what if there was this? I don't know. Like I'm trying to. I'm like playing. What's the word I'm looking for? Like Mr. Pangloss here, like the best of both worlds. What if we created a eating mindset of like okay, so vegan is, I don't want to eat any type of animal meat because you're harming the animal.
Yeah,
and I don't like that. It's not, we shouldn't do that. There's plenty of other things we could eat from that have nothing to do with harming animals. I mean, there's a little more to it than that, but what if we had this mindset where, also, I don't want to eat anything that's made with like fake stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, basically everything else. Of course, that's very wishful thinking, but we don't have that mindset. Obviously, the majority of us don't. But what if, I guess you're looking at an animal being butchered. That's very powerful. That's very moving, and that could change your behavior. If you looked at the way junk food is made, you might cringe a little bit, but you're like, well, shit, it just tastes too good.
Yeah,
and it's so easy, and I like the way the bag crunches, and God, it's so easy and it's cheap. Like if there was a way to I'm trying to get at here. I'm like this is wishful thinking. That'd be sweet.
Well, I mean, and what this article says is that vegans who stick to the book are healthier, but that means you got to do stuff like a lot of beans, a lot of broccoli, because you need iron. There's besides the protein deficiencies that vegans they need to struggle with.
B12. So I mean, you probably got some. There's a lot of good stuff in meat that the body needs that you might not be able to get anywhere else as easily with one piece of meat versus, I mean, for the amount of iron you get from that versus some other source that's not meat, it would be like, once you get 60 cups of this.
Yeah. And, if you're vegan but you're eating spaghetti, then right, what's
and you could still gain weight as a vegan, because if you're not taking sugars, you're not counting sugar, you're not looking at your sugars. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be healthier per se. Not always, of course. Someone that falls by the book, you got a good shot at being in a good place.
But I think the biggest risk is the risk of osteoporosis.
Yeah.
Right?
So deficiencies. So you're gonna get a lot of deficiencies in things that you weren't gonna get from the meat, and that's a trade off.
And looking thin is better than healthy feels. Is that what the quote is, or something?
No? Something like that. Yeah. Once again, it's up to the individual. Like, what's their motive? Someone's coming from a very strong emotional stance on animals. Yeah, they'll take it. But someone that really looks into this stuff, there's plenty of supplements you can do. You could supplement this day and age. I mean, you got pretty good supplements out there that can cover some of the bases that you're going to miss from the meat. It's pretty easy. And what's the big? What else is on there about, like, what's the risk with the veganhoodness, with the vegan eating plan?
I mean, mostly it's the deficiency in nutrients. That's the biggest, because you have to find kind of artificially sourced way, fibers and proteins. And look, even, and you're not going to be automatically healthy. My wife has done it for years, and it's not a panacea.
So you've watched her, right? You've watched her. She's certainly more healthier than me, and she's probably one of the healthier people I know. But it's, there's still a daily struggle. You still need to. So when you guys go out, is it like when you guys decide to go out to eat? I guess by now you got to figure it out.
Always, all the time.
Is there ever like a tension, controversy, or you guys kind of know what to do?
I always try to look for, vegan friendly, and she's pretty good, but she knows everything about everything, so she knows mostly what places are good and what are not. And then the websites can tell you too that they're very good. I can't imagine 10 years ago probably was a different story now.
Oh yeah.
They tell you everything that's vegan and what's not. So we just find and out here in LA it's a lot easier. We know places that are good for us. But even we went today to a diner for lunch, and not a lot of options for her, but there's a veggie burger that she can get. And so it's probably not easy on her. And I'm probably not maybe as cognizant of maybe some of her struggles as far as finding menus. But I'm also good about accommodating. Like, if I have to eat vegan, even though it might not be my preferred choice, but it's tasty enough now that it's okay. So you do it for love. Yeah, she wants me to be vegan. I'm hard to make that commitment yet. What would you? What's holding you back? Just curious. And I'm not trying to push it by any means. I'm just like, what is it like when you think about going vegan? What's your reservations? The inconvenience. A lot of the food I get is on the run. In the moment. So it takes a little bit of planning to be a vegan. So if I'm on the run, I didn't, like today, like haven't had dinner yet, I'd probably just stop and get something after we record. But if you're hungry now, you don't have a ton of choices now. I got you. Yeah, right. I mean, that's probably my excuse. Number one is probably I don't like it's work. It's hard work. Yeah, well, that's your reality. It's period. That's not right or wrong. It's just that's how it is for you. So that's how you got to you got to work on those kind of things like that. That's what you do. So I'll tell you, my diet right now, my diet plan is all about dollars. I'm on the low dollar diet, meaning I'll eat whatever is free. So where do you get when you say free in your day-to-day routine now? Where do you get free food? Well, like for instance, this week, the work staff was taken out to like a Christmas dinner. So at a restaurant. Yeah, at a restaurant, and so all bets were off for me. I was going to eat whatever. Okay, so you had a free reign, free whatever, as much as you could have. Yes, but was it like a buffet? It was a buffet, okay. But you know what? They had a lot of vegetables, so I went and I had Brussels sprouts, I had asparagus because that was available. Mm-hmm. When that's available, I will choose that. Okay, but I also got turkey stuffing and. Yeah. But it was free, so I went all in.
Now, do you feel that you ate more than you normally would because it was free? Because that's another concept too of like, oh, I got free food, I have to eat more than normal.
I normally do that. In fact,
I took advantage of that.
Yeah,
oh, boy, yeah.
I did. I got 2 plates, but it was a lot of vegetables, so I felt I did okay. Now, another night this week, I used the free meal plan at a comedy show where they got pizza. For everyone. So there we go.
Yeah,
now it was
good, right?
3 slices. I did hold myself to 3
was it like
slices.
A big pizza or like a
one of those big
size?
Costco pizzas. I think it was like 40 slices. It just went on forever. And I had 3 slices, which I thought was reasonable. Because normally for me, I would just eat a whole pizza.
Mm-hmm.
But but again, I didn't really limit because it was free. I was like, all right, free meal, let's get it in. Then if I have to, like last night, I hadn't had dinner. And there was nothing really at home, so I went to the dollar menu at McDonald's.
Okay.
Got 2 cheeseburgers. That's 600 calories, $2. So
that's all you had all day?
That was all I had for dinner. Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, it all depends.
But then, so everything else, right now, I'm just eating what I have at home. Like I'm just, instead of spending money on food, I'm going to try to eat what I have already at home. So, I had the oatmeal that I never dip into. So had a bowl of oatmeal. Some carrots and hummus that were sitting in the fridge, broke into those. Some peanut butter and bread, so living on the cheap, trying to save a little bit for a couple months. And I don't know if that will actually make me eat less calories because I'm spending less. But I'm not ordering out right now, so I'm not I'm not going to order a Papa John's tonight.
It's not a great way, but if it works, if it is what it is, right?
I don't know if it's going to work long term, but just enough to get me just to get a little bit more comfortable in the bankroll. But I don't know, the cheap way. There might be something to it because I'm not going to get French fry. Now I'm trying to be as cheap as possible. So I'm sticking to the dollar menu. So that means no French fries, no Frosties or milkshakes, sticking to a 300 calorie cheeseburger or a 290 calorie sausage McMuffin with egg. Not that I'm.
What about a chicken sandwich? Is that like disgusting for you?
No, I love a chicken sandwich. Like the problem is that they're not cheap, so you go to Carl's.
Oh, right. So the same amount of calories. So if you got a 300 calorie chicken sandwich versus a 300 calorie cheeseburger, it's a big difference in price.
Just, I'm thinking, let's look at Carl's. They have their barbecue chicken sandwich, I think, is only 280 calories. So that's like pretty low.
Yeah.
But it's like $4 or something, so
right.
compared to a $1 cheeseburger. Now, normally I'll go get the chicken sandwich at a Carl's, but right now I'm trying to keep it cheap. Some other things. What else keeps it cheap? The dollar menu at McDonald's has some good choices. Wendy's has a discount menu. You can get like a junior bacon cheeseburger. It's like $1.30. That's most of these places have a decent dollar menu. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to keep it cheap for now. We'll see how long the cheap diet lasts.
All right.
I don't know.
Hey, it's something. Is
it something? I don't know.
And just like have a good time on the holidays. Holidays are the holidays. Don't put too much pressure. And for those of us out there listening, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Have a good time. You're probably going to have a good time anyway. And then people will talk about what they ate and how much they overate, and then they have a plan for January 1st. But just have a good time and just don't kill yourself with one of these 5 diet plans.
Yeah, the dollar discount diet is not on here.
No one ever died on the Christmas diet, right?
Yeah. No.
And if anyone out there listening ever did the 30, the whole 30, or anyone ever ate raw for a long period of time, please, love to hear from you.
Yeah,
love to see what that's all about.
All right. Well, and we're almost at an hour, so let's wrap this up. Where can we find you guys?
If anybody's over here at Flappers on Monday evening, I'll be over there telling some Christmas jokes, Christmas Eve jokes.
Oh, you got a whole Christmas set planned?
Christmas set, yeah, Christmas.
Kris
Kringle, and the whole idea behind Christmas, and just
anti-consumer or
overconsumption,
overconsumption,
and I was denied an Atari. One of my Christmas, I always wanted that original Atari when I was a kid. I had the money. I couldn't even buy it.
Oh,
and I had dreams from December 21st till that I got it. And I woke up every day like, no, I'm not going to get it. Like every time I asked my mom, no, you're not getting it. But then I finally got it like in March. I bought it myself. I was allowed to.
That's
This is way back. I was, I don't know, 10 years old. But
I still remember my Atari and Nintendos. Those were some of the best Christmas gifts probably in my life.
Tank Battle.
Yes.
Yes.
The
fun.
Yeah. Well, and you can find me if you're in the Tucson area for New Year's weekend. I'll be emceeing shows Friday, Saturday.
If you need a place to go for New Year's, go to Tucson.
Yeah, the Christmas is the New Year's.
They got the best keto restaurants in America. No, it's great. No, that's a great place over there, and Laughs, good place in Tucson.
I'll be getting the Caesar salads.
Yeah,
they do pack it in.
It's a great. You've been there. I've been there. It's a great menu.
I'll be getting the Caesar salads, hopefully. But
yeah, I don't know how their food is over there at the actual Laughs, but I don't think I ever ate there. If I did, it wasn't memorable. But anyway, that's not what we're there for.
I'm gonna probably get a jar of peanut butter and a loaf of bread to try to hold me off during the day. Eat the chicken salad at night, and then hopefully I'll stay healthy over the New Year's weekend.
Yeah, and you're hosting all weekend. That's a big deal. Big deal. Kyle Kreis is moving up in the comedy scene.
Well, the problem with when you're on the road for a weekend like this is that you can get lonely. You can be on your own. So you like, for me, that means eating a lot. Like,
sure.
What are you gonna do? You're bored. You're by yourself. Let's go get something to eat. So if I can hold off that, keep myself entertained or occupied with things during the day, then I should be.
Burpees. You could do burpees.
Oh, come on.
You could do lunges. You can do. Tucson's a great place to do lunges. You can chase lizards around.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll do some lizard chasing.
Go check out some cactus. So saguaro cactus. I think the saguaro. They have actual place you can visit over there. The saguaro park.
Okay.
Yeah. It's there's a lot to do there.
Well, I'll probably
go for a hike.
I'm going to try not to get too saguaro.
And do burpees on the hike.
Oh, come on.
All right, I'm going to stop.
All right. Well, until next time, this is Kyle Kreis, a.k.a. The Snacker.
And this is Dr. Mike, a.k.a. The Doc. And have a great holiday season. Don't be afraid to eat what you want, but